That's how I'm firing. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong. Strong.
All right, guys, we are back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the monster, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster, the WBC 175-pound champion, David Benavidez. Now, you guys see that picture there. That is a still image from a video. I think Fight Hub TV shot that video. Shout out to Fight Hub TV, by the way. And it was a video of David training for his upcoming fight with Anthony Yarde that's supposed to take place in November. Now, as you guys see there, David looks like he's gained an excessive amount of weight in that picture. And here's the thing, you know, what makes it so ironic is I'm coming back from vacation. Some of you guys know I was on vacation for 5 days. And in those 5 days, I picked up some weight. And yesterday, I started training to lose the weight. Today, I'm actually locking in my nutrition because I want to feel, you know, comfortable in my own skin once again. Right now, I just don't feel my best. So I'm getting back on track. I am going to the Terrence Bud Crawford fight, and I'll admit I want to be in the best shape I can be when I go out to Vegas. Now, here's the thing. I've never seen David Benavidez in this condition. Not saying that he's, you know, never been like this, but personally, I've never seen him like this leading up to a fight. And here's the thing. It always troubles me when I see fighters blow up in weight between fights, blow up 20, 30 pounds before a fight. And we've seen this before. I think a perfect example is Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner did that a lot, gaining excessive amounts of weight between fights, and then he has to go into these fat camps and try to lose all the weight and not living the fighter lifestyle, I would say. And it always troubles me because now you have to focus on weight loss as opposed to just focusing on honing your skills. You know, we never seen these throwback fighters do this a whole lot in their careers. When you look at guys like Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., when you look at guys like Manny Pacquiao, you didn't really see them when they weren't fighting in very awful shape. You know, they stayed around their fighting weight. You know, they might have gained a little bit of weight, but not 20, not 30, 40 pounds between a fight. I think it can just be detrimental to a fighter having to lose that weight, going up and down in weight, you know, having to do it quickly at that. You know, I had David Benavidez, I would say 100% sure that he was going to win this fight against Anthony Yarde in November. Due to his skill set, due to his volume punching, due to Anthony Yarde kind of gassing out at times, I had it at 100%. Now seeing David in this condition and knowing that he has to lose this weight, you know, I'm going to say maybe 95% sure that he wins this fight. You know, Anthony Yarde is a very tough competitor, and you want to be at your best. You want to make sure your skill set, you're honing your skill set, you know, not focus on losing this weight. And that's what always troubles me about fighters that live that type of lifestyle, that kind of let themselves go. Now, I know he's human and things happen. You know, he's making a lot of money now. He's living in Miami. I think he lives in a penthouse. You know, it's tough when you're living like that to stay disciplined. You know, the sleeping in silk sheet thing I think Marvin Hagler used to talk about. Yeah, it's tough. You know, but you have to stay on top of your game if you want to be the man in the sport. You know, there's sacrifices that have to be made, and you know, I think David has done himself a disservice in this instance. You know, he may get past this, but you can't keep doing this. The older you get, you know, it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. I know that from experience. I'm a lot older than him, and I know how hard it is for me when I gain a few pounds to lose weight. It's tough, man. You know, it's mentally draining, it's physically draining, and you're thinking about eating different, those foods, it's rough. So I don't want to see David fall into that trap, gaining all this weight between fights. Let's just say he gets past Anthony Yarde, and then he goes, and gains an excessive amount of weight. And you guys know Turki Al-Sheikh wants him to fight the former undisputed champion at 175, Artur Beterbiev. You want to be at 100% going into a fight with a guy like that. He's a dangerous fighter despite his age. You guys know he's a killer in the ring. So, like I said, it troubles me a little bit. But I'm like I said, I've never seen David that way. Maybe it's just a one-off. Who knows? Like I said, sometimes life happens. But anyway, just wanted to get my 2 cents on that. The Klump thing, David, is not working for me, man. Stay on top of your game. You made your own lane. Canelo didn't want to fight you. You have an opportunity, like I said, to build a great legacy. But you got to stay disciplined, in my opinion. You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.